UK and EU's game of chicken out of key. Boris like throw a straw against the wind, fall flat on EU's face. Boris Johnson won the general election of 2019 on the promise that he would get Brexit done. But it has not been done. Instead of stabilizing, post-divorce relations are worsening. Not surprisingly, they are most fraught where the responsibilities remain shared. Fisheries are one such point of contention. But the most dangerous by far is Northern Ireland. Back in October 2019, Johnson declared he had reached a great new deal. Now he would like to tear it up. That is characteristic, alas. But it is dangerous not just for the UK, but also for the EU and wider West. If you thought Brexit was done, think again. Stand by for another whole year of Brexit negotiations in 2022 and the familiar spectre of a no-deal cliff edge at the end of it. Boris Johnson regards the Northern Ireland Protocol, which prevents a hard border with Ireland, as unfinished business. Allies say he is ready in principle to deploy what Brussels regards as the nuclear option of the protocol's Article 16 to suspend key elements of it, but which UK officials describe as a surgical strike. The move would lift many of the checks on goods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. Johnson's aim, to show the EU that this would not put at risk its cherished single market, so it eventually concedes the virtually invisible trade border the UK wants. The problem is that Johnson signed up to a real trade border in the Irish Sea in 2019. Either he didn't understand it, as some Whitehall officials believe, or he always intended to rip it up after a general election in which he needed an EU agreement to allay fears about no deal. Or perhaps both. As Dominic Cummings told us, Johnson never had a Scooby-Doo what the agreement meant and Downing Street always intended to ditch it. Now, in pursuit of a radical change in the agreement it knowingly signed, the UK government is proposing to take safeguard measures. Such measures are permitted under Article 16 of the Protocol. But, the latter explains, such measures shall be restricted with regard to their scope and duration to what is strictly necessary in order to remedy the situation. The UK's desire to remove the role of the European Court of Justice in settling the EU law that governs the single market is far from strictly necessary. Moreover, the EU would be entitled to take its own rebalancing measures in response to such an action by the UK. Where such a cycle of retaliation between these neighbours would finish nobody knows. The optimistic view is that this game of chicken will end, as it has done before, with a patched-up agreement. The EU will give a bit and the UK will fail to get all it wants. Yet there are obvious difficulties with this cheerful view. The first is that the endless attempts to renegotiate the most contentious part of the withdrawal have soured relations and, still worse, will continue to do so. After all, Ireland, Northern Ireland, the EU and the UK are not going away. The second is that such finagling fatally undermines the trust in its commitments that any government needs. The UK can no longer hope to get away with a reputation for being perfidious Albion. The last is that the game of chicken might end up in a crash of just the sort suggested by Coveney. Maybe that will not happen this time. But it looks increasingly as though the UK government will keep on at this until the EU folds totally or the crash happens. In the long run, the latter seems far more likely.